Formula One heads away from Bahrain and on to Saudi Arabia. It's the Jeddah Corniche circuit for round 2 of the season. So Max Verstappen wins the season opener in Bahrain. Now we move on to Saudi Arabia before 2 weeks' time in Australia. A month off before we return to Baku in Azerbaijan and the first sprint race of the year. Back to back with Miami. 2 weeks, then we go to Emilia-Romagna. Monaco rounds out at the end of May. Spain in June. It's going to be one of the hottest races we've had there. Canada then on the middle of June as well before at the end. We go to Austria. Great Britain for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone on the 9th of July. Hungary and Belgium take us to the summer break. Following Belgium and the summer break, we go to the Netherlands, back-to-back with Italy. Then it's to Singapore, Japan, Qatar, United States, Mexico, Brazil. The first race ever at Las Vegas on the Strip, back, of course, since the 1980s. Then we go to Abu Dhabi to round out the season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads by 7 points to Sergio Perez after their 1-2 in Bahrain. Fernando Alonso is in third position ahead of Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton rounds out the top 5. Then it's Lance Stroll ahead of Russell, Bottas, Gasly, and Alexander Albon completes the point scorers so far. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way by 20 points to Aston Martin as well, 43-23. Mercedes on 16, clear Ferrari. Alfa Romeo, Alpine in a battle as well with Williams. AlphaTauri, Haas and McLaren yet to score points after a poor weekend in Bahrain. Night has fallen. We're ready for our first night runs of the season here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, a 3.836 mile circuit, 27 turns in total, one of the fastest street circuits on the F1 calendar, and it certainly is one of the most difficult to get right. It is a fascinating track. Start the lap then on the run down towards turn number 1. You've got DRS at this point as well. Use it to your maximum. It's a hard braking left turn, 90 degrees. Slam the brakes all the way down. Third gear. Casually hit the throttle before a very tight turn 2 right-hander. Accelerate down through 3. Now it's 4, 5 and 6. The beginning of the sort of Mickey Mouse sections as well. The track now is on itself. It's quite hard to keep a rhythm flowing as well as you're bouncing off towards the barriers as high as you possibly can. Be careful not to exceed the track limits like that there, but the FIA are usually okay with it because it's such a difficult track to get right as well. They don't police it if you're forced off wide. Now into the banking hairpin turn 13, rising in as well. It's just a little bit of degree of banking, but it's amazing to get an overtake there. Hurtle down out towards 7th gear as well. Back up towards one of the tightest chicanes on the track. Slam on the brakes down to 4th gear. Flip the car into the right, then the left as you're gradually accelerating. Opening up your DRS once more as you hurtle down. This is the most dangerous part of the track. It's a blind entry to the corner. This is where Schumacher crashed back in 2021, causing the red flag. Flick the car in, hope it stays, then bang on the throttle. Now you're flat out all the way down. Turns 25, 26 as well. Flat out with the DRS. Of course, Leclerc and Verstappen playing chicken. Hamilton and Verstappen making contact. It's a famous part of the track. Hurtle down then. Slam on the brakes, play the DRS chicken, 3rd gear corner through turn 27, flat out now, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear with the DRS open. You reach 8th gear as you cross the line now, and that is a lap of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box then for the second practice session of the 2023 Formula One season here at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. It's still going to take time, not to say 2022, isn't it? Because it came and went in just a click of the fingers. But 2023 kicking off. First practice earlier on then, Max Verstappen was the fastest despite a stomach upset. He still got that top honours. He still got that risk of reward. He was top as well. And what's most impressive of all, and you've all got to agree here, was definitely most impressive, was the fact that we've had the practice and yet still the Astons are at top. Absolutely fantastic. Now, we're just watching Lewis Hamilton at the moment as well. No, it wasn't looking too good of a situation in first practice. Mercedes way off the pace. There's been a lot of work changing to set up ahead of practice too, but this is crucial times now. This second session is where we're going to see a lot more race run simulations. It's where we're going to see a lot more of the flat out runs as well. Who's hot, who's not going into the qualifying. Josh T is going to be joining us in the commentary box as well shortly. Nathan Richards is going to be joining halfway through FP2 as well. And it's all going to be looking good. Quick update on how I'm feeling, because I know if you joined us in practice one, I'm exposed to somebody who had COVID. So far, a little update. 2 other people have tested negative that have been around the same person. I, so far, am negative. I'm feeling completely fine. So that's a good update there as well. But another hour ahead of us. The track conditions are fantastic. I mean, air temperature's at 25 degrees. Track temperature is at 31 degrees as well. Humidity at 51%. So it's looking like we're going to be in for a calm hours running. No missiles in the air as well, which is fantastic compared to practice 2 last season. And sunshine outside the back of the commentary box. It's a bright, beautiful day so far here in the UK studio setup as well. Night has already fallen over there in Jeddah. And we've had the F2 qualifying. You can see highlights tonight of the F2 practice and qualifying sessions as well. They'll air later on this evening. And you can also join me and Richie on the esports there as well. I think it's the ESL race that's on this evening as well. Looking more and more good. Tomorrow, Jess and Omid as well joins us in the commentary box. I'm going to have to ask him what he would like to be called, actually, in that broadcast. For FP3, then it's Josh and Richie with me for qualifying, and then for the race itself, Megan Birch will hopefully rejoin the comp box for qualifying as well, if all good is good. For the race itself as well, it'll be Megan, Josh, and it will be Jess Ball making her debut in race commentary as well. I can't wait for her to join the comp box. Of course, the head of comms at PSGL, and she's the PSF1 commentator as well at PSGL, and she also works at WOR, but she's going to hate me for this. I can't remember what division she commentates on there, but either way, it's on the PS division, I know that. And it's going to be fantastic, and I really can't wait to get going and all the action to get up into flow, and I can't wait. But we're about to cross over anyway as well. I'll hand you over to Simon Lazenby in a few moments time as well to give you all the times and details of when we're on air this weekend and when Sky F1 are on air, and then we'll get over ready for the session as well, as I've got to change a few of the graphics around and make sure everything's a-okay and working, because I notice a few things aren't and it bugs me, so as I know it all does you. All our graphics are still in operation as well ahead of practice too. First out on the track though, I would assume it's going to be the McLarens. They've got a lot of work to do. Lando Norris was 20th in the first session. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up on time missed. And certainly I would also expect to see a lot of action out there for the Mercedes guys as well. Hamilton and Russell were 7/10 off the pace. Speaking of that, they're joining me in the commentary box now, ready for the first session for him this weekend. It's Josh. Hello, Josh. And just getting ready. We'll throw it to you when the session starts as well. But this is all looking quite smooth, quite good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy all the coverage from the second practice session for the 2023 Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. We'll hand quickly over to Simon Lazenby.
Following the second practice session, we're back with the F1 show from 6:15 here on Sky Sports F1 on Saturday. Qualifying from 4 o'clock on Sunday, 3:30 on air for 5 p.m. lights out. Ready for your Sunday tea. And then the podcast returns on Tuesday to wrap things up. Bernie Collins is with us this season, former head strategist of Aston Martin with Damon, and Crofty in the comms box.
It's time for the second practice session to get underway here under the night sky at the Jeddah Corniche circuit as well. Round 2 of the Formula 1 season is going to kick into gear, and so much action is waiting ahead of us as well. Track temperature has fallen 31 degrees, air temperature has fallen to 25 degrees, and it's our second of 4 events here in the Middle East alongside Qatar, Abu Dhabi, and the season opener 2 weeks ago in Bahrain. It's a fast-flowing and abrasive circuit, 6.174 kilometres. It's our second longest season track of the calendar alongside Spa-Francorchamps. That's over 7 kilometres, that circuit. 27 turns, the most on the calendar. 207.9 mile per hour is the top speed. And how about the tyres? How do they look? Well, Pirelli bring the middle range here to this circuit as well. We've got the Pirelli C2 for the hard, C3 for the medium, C4 for the soft compound as well. Looking over, well, you would just about think that there's a sea being blown in across the side of the circuit here, but the city of Jeddah has gone under the lights as well, and the Formula 1 Jeddah Corniche circuit lit up more than a Christmas tree as well. It's moderately nice out there as well, but this is where the talking stops and the action begins. It's looking great out there, Josh. Welcome up for Saudi Arabia. How are you?
Very, very tired and very, very sweaty and very, very hot is the answer.
Are you
Hello,
in Jeddah?
everybody.
Are you in Jeddah?
No, I am not in Jeddah. I would like to be in Jeddah, even though it... I mean, I keep saying this. Every single time we come here, put this circuit in another country and we'll be perfect. This is a perfect circuit, but why does it have to be in Saudi Arabia? No, the answer is I'm looking at my imaginary watch because it's still downstairs. 2 minutes before the start, I got home from the horse stables and we've been fussing over a newborn foal, which has been very fun. But I'll send you some photos, Josh, if you want. But yeah, it's been very hot, and it's definitely very hot in this room, but only a matter of a minute and a half until the start, and it's good to be here.
It is, and hopefully I'm not going to start coughing because I can feel my throat getting a little bit itchy, but that's nothing to do with COVID. That's because the heating was on this morning and it's still not nice to be in there. 1 minute 38 until the session starts going as well. There's Fernando Alonso, third fastest this morning. Josh, does he actually stand a chance of winning a race here in Jeddah? He's still in the pace of the 2 Red Bulls, but after Bahrain, anything he does, we're all going to be impressed about.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look. Apparently, the entry list, version 1, I'm just going to confirm this.
Yeah.
No, having a look. Just seeing what changed, because apparently there's a version 2 out. Just trying to spot the mistake.
So someone's done a big no-no on the board, and we're going to try and fix it, yeah. Do you know what? I don't like this circuit for one reason. It doesn't fit on the driver map. The tracker map is really hard to get right. You probably saw me when the music was on, trying to fight with it to get it in the correct location. It's a real pain to get that one right into the correct order. It's not as simple as Bahrain, where you literally just drag it down and it's there, it's perfect. Jeddah likes to be difficult and make it a bit more harder for us to see what's on the pictures as well. But we're 25 seconds away from the start of the session as well. Over on Sky F1, David Crofts in the commentary box alongside the 1996 world champion Damon Hill and the former Aston Martin Racing Point and Force India technical boss as well, and the strategist Bernie Collins has joined the commentary team as well. Lovely to have her on Sky F1 this season. But it's 3, 2, 1 before it's green light, and away we go for practice 2 and the first running at night here in the season for round 2 of the Formula 1 2023 campaign. Cars are heading out the circuit, and I believe it's Stroll leading them out with Alonso, Sargent, Sainz, Hülkenberg and Bottas all following in suit. And now this is really the time where we're going to see who's hot and who's not and who's got the great run. Let's go down to Karun.
Make it a less muggy night. I've wandered down to the end of the pit lane, Crofty, where the drivers are heading out to do their practice starts. The track temperature, as you guys were saying, has really come down to, it's 15 degrees is not insignificant. By the way, David, did you race at Le Mans, David?
correct, Karun. I did some night driving at the Mall.
Right,
They
okay.
didn't have floodlights. The only bit that was lit up was...
I thought I was losing my memory, but there you go. Yeah, just a couple of bits from down here. Down at Mercedes, they were making a last-minute setup change on George Russell's car, so I haven't seen him go out yet, and he might not be straight out at the beginning of the session, so a few little changes there. I popped down to McLaren to just have a chat about their session, because Lando Norris was quite some way down in the times, although Oscar Piastri did a good job to get himself firmly in the midfield. Oscar Piastri, by the way, the last time he was here, he won both F2 races and was on pole position, as here comes the double reigning world champion Max Verstappen passing Lewis Hamilton at the end of the pit lane. But on Oscar Piastri, they said he was really quite impressive from McLaren's standpoint in that session. They said he got in the car, got on with it, got in a groove very early on, considering he's not driven a Formula 1 car around here, and they thought that was a very strong start to the session, and George Russell's just gone past. So there you go, they've done their setup changes.
Thank you very much, Karun Chandhok down there in the pit lane commentating for us as well. Drivers are heading out on the circuit here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and alongside me in the commentary box is Josh. And what was your takes then ahead of practice one then, Josh, as well? Because a lot of drivers are having trouble down at turns 21 and 22. And there was a lot of people going like, that's pretty much normal. It's a type of circuit that always goes a little bit wrong. It's a type of circuit that always has some issues. But personally, I also think as well that we're going to see a lot more action this year at that part of the track, because everybody wants to get it right.
Yeah, and I actually didn't see any of practice one because I had a meeting about my hopefully my new school.
Oh,
but
fantastic!
About Oscar Piastri, 2021 he won all 3 races, I believe. He finished 8th in the first race of the weekend and won the 2 other races, including the shortened feature race, which took place over only 5 laps, and that was back in 2021, because the champion of F2 is banned from F2 for the next season. And if you want to know about any driver's history at the Jeddah circuit, just pick a driver and I can tell you.
Stay out of my notes. I know where you've got those from as well, Josh.
No, these are custom. These are custom.
I know exactly where you got them from, because it's where I get my stats from as well. Then I know where you got them. Let's have Lewis Hamilton.
Slower. It's about aero characteristics. It's how the car is balanced through the corners from the moment you come off the gas and hit the brake, from the moment you start turning initially, from mid-corner, high speed to low speed, and then on power as the car squats. All these different things. There's a whole motion that the car goes through, and the airflow through the car as you begin to turn more and turn less. And it's different between low, medium, and high. And then there's drag. There's so many different elements that people, of course, would not know because they're not aerodynamicists and you can't see it. But there's a lot more to it. And so we're really trying to make sure we get on the right track.
Oh, interesting from Lewis Hamilton there then, Josh, as well, about him saying about how people aren't aerodynamicists, they don't know everything that's going on with the car. And yeah, it's a little bit of a worry, I think, for Mercedes coming into this season, that they've gone completely in the wrong direction as well. Like, everything has just gone completely wrong. The W13 was a mess, and now the W14 also is having problems.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. And how many minutes are we in? 4 minutes in, and I said interesting. Yeah. Anyway, there is Yuki Tsunoda going off tracks at 22. At turn 22/23, I think. I have found out what the issue was with the entry list.
Thank you. Celebrate good times.
And
yes, go on. Celebrate good times. Are these to eat now?
It is about Alfa Romeo.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Yes, go on. Go on. I'm listening.
With a Alfa Romeo F1 Team Kick instead of Alfa Romeo F1 Team State. And guess what circuit map version we are on?
What version are we on now?
But just at the end of practice 1, they issued circuit map version 4.
Version 4 already?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I'm going to keep updating my notes. I'm going to have to stand up as well because that camera's not working today. But yeah, and you said they're not from Motorsport Stats. Yeah, they're from Lights Out blog. I know that because that's where I get my notes from, and I double check them. That's because he's yeah, because he's the only person who has the correct grid positions and where they were. That's where I get my best qualifying and best race from. And then from the Motorsport stats, I get all the driver notes, and then I make my own up about what happened in the race. But yeah, Motorsport Lights Out blog is where I get my weekend information from as well. So, because
I had no idea you
Yeah.
used Lights Out blog.
Yeah.
I am going to have to find another website.
same stats, because I look at the driver stats he puts down to get the best qualifying, best grid, and then I go through each driver's stats from the previous year that I've got, write down, oh, well, he finished here, oh, he had a battle with Alonso that year, didn't he, blah, blah, blah. Get that all written down in the notes, and then get it all sort of sorted out ready. But yeah, and Verstappen having it in the last corner again at turn 27, losing the rear nearly having it was. Now listen to Toto Wolff. This is what he said in the press conference earlier.
Of a career where we trust each other, we have formed a great bond among each other, and I have no reason. We have no reason to doubt each other, even though this is a difficult spell. But so nice it will be when we come out of this valley of tears and come back to solid performances. As a driver, nevertheless, if he wants to win another championship, he needs to make sure that he has the car. And if we cannot demonstrate that we're able to give him a car in the next couple of years, then he needs to look everywhere. I don't think he's doing it at that stage, but I will have no grouch if that happens in a year or two.
And all that is about the fact that Lewis Hamilton, Josh, this week has been rumoured that he is leaving Mercedes and going to Ferrari. As Alonso, despite going off at turn 22 just about, has set the fastest time of a 1:36.12. So, do you think there's any truth about Hamilton wanting to leave Mercedes? And is that man there, Toto Wolff, that sure he can keep a world champion who is towards the end of his career, let's be fair? Can he keep him happy? Can he give him an 8th world title? Then he'll leave.
Let's be honest, if he does go from Mercedes to Ferrari and Charles Leclerc does go from Ferrari to Mercedes, as is heavily rumoured right now, let's just go back. When did Ferrari win the last title? When
2007.
When was their last perfect strategy?
Oh my God! Last perfect strategy. Raikkonen, 2018 United States Grand Prix. He was dominant in that race as a rear wing flexing for Alexander Albon down the back straightaway. I think that was the last time, that they had a decent run. And I'm also just trying to think as well, when was the last time we saw Ferrari not having errors across the weekend? And I really can't. Bahrain last year, I think, might have been the last one. But they won 4 races last year, I don't know how. Richie says he'll be there with us in 20 minutes. That's no worries at all, mate. And Jess says, I follow Lights Out on Twitter. Have been for a long time as I love the info they give. I do too. In fact, I actually message Nick quite a few times a year as well and just ask him for some great stats as well I can put out as well. And I always say Lights Out is a fantastic blog and it is a fantastic source of information. I really do enjoy his work as well. And yeah, I always, he's the only man I know that has got all the stats for the right qualifying positions, right starting positions, because they vary a lot, so it's very useful. And then the Motorsport stats is where you get the driver notes from as well for like F2, F3, and also across the F1 stat from years previous, like with race results and best positions, and then I write the rest in. It's a very busy week leading up. I'll have to film a week vlog or something or other as Perez does a 1:34.28, goes top, Alonso second, Verstappen third, Leclerc fourth, Gasly but with it now goes fifth, with Stroll sixth, Sainz seventh, Ocon eighth, Albon ninth and Hulkenberg rounding out the top 10, Hamilton 11th, Piastri 12th, De Vries, Norris, Tsunoda, Zhou, Magnussen, Russell, Sargent and Bottas. And yes, Alfa Romeo have changed their logo on the TV world feed because they complained it wasn't actually visible enough. So now they're very much just like a red circle dot with the Alfa Romeo logo on the inside as well. When can we even remember Ferrari had a perfect strategy, says SHT? Perfect. I don't remember. It's Verstappen just getting so close to that line again at the exit turn 27 where he made a crash in 21. Cross it, goes top.
Yeah, he does with a 1:30.2 0.058. Alonso in third again. We could see Alonso really, really fighting this weekend.
Do you know?
I know it's only like 11 minutes in, but Russell is still down in 19th.
I must just say, by the way, if you have the My Vodafone app, and if you're on Vodafone, Morrison's, you've got a £2 free box of chocolates as well on offer. And I've just got to give them mine as well, because we've all got Vodafone. And a lovely box of sweets will now be in the commentary box across the weekend for those who visit. And there's 4 other boxes inside the house as well, so there's plenty to go around. So lovely little box of Combox sweets there up here. Got a yellow flag briefly out in Sector 18.
Other supermarkets and phone vans are available.
That is true, yeah, I must say that, of course. And other Celebration chocolates are available, but let's be fair, these Celebrations are probably the best ones. Although I do like a Hero and a Quality Street as well. And what's the other one? Roses. No, I can give and take a Roses because they're pretty much the same as Quality Streets. Quality Streets are Christmas sweets, they're for sure. Heroes and Celebrations, things like that can be any time. I think Celebrations are the birthday sweet, aren't they, Josh? It's literally just Celebrations. You've got Snickers, Twix, Mars, Malteser, Milky Way, Bounty. I won't be into the Bounty.
No, I don't really like bounties. But anyway, Hamilton is on a lap time.
Yeah, he is.
The only drivers, and we're going trackside down to turn 2.
Yeah, because out and about for us, I believe it's going to be Martin Brundle.
I saw 12 consecutive cars go wide through here because they just couldn't make the corner. Nothing coming at the moment, but here comes the McLaren then of Lando Norris. It's quite obedient, and they're beginning to find their way. But this is a great section because it involves a heavy braking zone, turn in to the tight left hand of this turn 1. Then you've got the direction change into turn 2 in front of us. And then a traction zone, the rear wheel. Of course, these cars are a 2-wheel drive, rear wheel drive that is. The Mercedes has looked a bit of a handful. Hamilton going quite slowly there, but they have not got the grip coming through this second apex that some of the cars. The Ferrari looks very, very good through it. The one car that can really climb that white and green curb on the inside and give themselves a little bit of extra space on the outside of the corner. So it's everything. It's braking, it's turn-in, it's direction change, it's get the grip down with the rear tyres. And even Max, the Red Bull, is walking away a little bit from the apex of turn 2. He doesn't seem to be able to climb the curb. Gasly coming through there now quite slowly, but it's all about, can you just ride that curb on the inside and open up the angle of the corner, because you've got the pit lane exit here as well, which feeds into what is the racing line in the end. So as always, it's very difficult to find, even on brand new circuits, really a sweet spot to feed cars back into the pits. Unfortunately, it's gone extremely quiet. And Yuki Tsunoda then in the AlphaTauri, and you can hear him having to hesitate on the throttle through the exit because he's waiting for the car to settle down. He's waiting for the steering wheel to load up and feel he's got enough front grip. Here is the pit exit feed in then, and we see cars slow through there, white flags everywhere. You can and all sorts of dramas going on. It's a very confined racetrack. And wow, do those corners come up quick and fast. And I'm going to find some other corners to have a look at, Crofty.
Thanks ever so much.
Cheers, Martin. That was incredibly hard to try and get right because the graphics keep changing, so I'm just giving up on trying to get that video sorted until next time because it's just constantly changing. Verstappen goes a 1:29.952. Perez is second, Alonso third, Gasly fourth, Ocon fifth. Not bad at the moment then, Josh, as they come through. Tsunoda's on a lap time, and this is, I believe, Leclerc down into turn 27 being held up by a Haas. No, it's turn 13.
Yeah, it is, and here is Leclerc.
Hülkenberg or whoever that Haas is, it was a joker.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't quite tell who it was there. I don't think it's Magnussen. They're both in the pit lane, so it could have been on a slow lap. But yeah, I wasn't getting too much there. Jess says on Motorsport Stats, it still shows Alonso and Alpine overalls as well. Verstappen Radio.
Wait, it's just my headrest. I'm laying down too much. I cannot feel the car.
Max Verstappen.
Oh, and a problem there for Verstappen. My headrest just too launchy lying down as well. So there's a few issues coming there. Richie's joined the commentary box as well. That wasn't 20 minutes, man. That was 10. I'll let you get everything sorted. Yeah, can't hear you too well just yet, so I'll just let you get everything sorted and set up. As you come in, Max Verstappen still on top, and they've gone for an ad break anyway, so that gives us time to introduce you, Richie. Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
Nice to see you back again. Yeah, I'm all right.
Pleasure to have
A
you.
lot better than earlier.
Yes, which is great. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. I think it sort of starts and gets up as well, and then you feel hopefully a lot better. Look, I haven't tested positive, and 2 people I know have tested negative. So it's good, isn't it, Richie?
Oh. So it's going, yeah, it's going better, I suppose. You could just have a bad cold, I suppose. It's England after all.
Yeah, and the heating was on, so I'm trying to go for that fact that I'm just feeling like this because the heating was on.
Well, that is the worst. Is it? It's cold. You got the heating on, then you go outside.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly why I am in the commentary box, actually, as well. Well, I've got you on, Richie, but Josh at the moment is not on the correct camera because he's... there we go. So there we go. I'm going to press that button as well. Hi. There we go. And so we've got our cameras sorted. And only one car's out on the track at the moment. So I'm desperately going to try and get Twitter up. Because I want to play something that Sky F1 had in their interview, guys. And it's a very interesting situation I want you to hear. This was the full press conference with Toto Wolff, but this is what he said about earlier on in the session about the W14 as well. And it was Toto Wolff has confirmed that it was Lewis Hamilton's decision to split from Angela Cullen, and that's because Angela wanted to go and do other things as well. And of course, with her being a Kiwi, from New Zealand, of course. It's a long time away from home to get back in as well. She's got 2 young kids as well, so it's very much an understandable thing that she wants to take some time off and do her other things as well. And they're still going to be best of friends, of course. It's Angie and Lewis. Of course, they're going to be there. But I'm trying desperately to stall because to get hold of it. I've got it here, and I'm waiting for it to load up. This was what happened as well. This is Toto Wolff then talking about what stage he got it wrong with the car and why Mercedes were in trouble.
The data that we have extrapolated showed us that this works. And we were proven wrong, very simply. And you can see that the 2 quickest cars, including the Ferrari, so it's three quickest cars, that have a similar concept of how they generate performance, and that's very different to ours. And at a certain stage, we came to the conclusion we got it wrong. Simply, we got it wrong. Why we got it wrong, we're still analyzing because we follow data and we follow what simulations tell us. In that case, we were misguided by those data, and all of us involved in the decision-making process came to the conclusion, well, we can't continue that way. You know, we really tried to stick to it, and we don't want to, under any circumstance, run in a one-way street saying we're gonna make this work no matter what, because it doesn't work, and I don't want to lose more time.
What are your goals for the remainder of 2023?
My goals, I'd like to win every race starting Sunday, but that's not realistic. The goals are that, based on the understanding that we have now, that over the next iterations of updates and learning, we can shave off a lot of performance deficit, because now we know. And now we have all taken a decision in which direction to go. I think that it's out of question that you change a chassis because simply there's not enough budget in the cost cap. But changing the way the aerodynamics work and the bodywork is perfectly within the scope.
So that was Toto talking to Tom Clarkson in the team principals meeting. And I think it was very interesting as well, but with Alonso who's glitching a little bit. I thought it was very, very entertaining and very, very interesting, Richie, as well, that they know they've made an error. They know where they want to go in getting more development from the car. But it's the fact that it's going to take time that is sort of putting pressure on everybody, not just Lewis Hamilton, who doesn't know if he's staying with Mercedes or not with everything going around. It's the fact that how long until Mercedes start to stop believing that they are World Championship winning teams?
A lot this year, because they could come into Baku with the new concept, which would... Oh, Alonso going off track. They could come into Baku with the concept similar to Aston Martin, Red Bull and Ferrari with the side pods. But they're not going to have a clue how to use it, how to make it work, because they're kind of, in a way, a year behind everyone else at this point. Them and I think Williams are the only two that run no side pods, so they are literally a year behind everyone else, so they're going to have so much catching up to do this year. So, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they thought, right, you know what? Halfway through the season, or whenever they bring the major upgrades, we'll bring the side pods in, then spend the rest of the year working on the car, figuring out what works and how it works, and then next season they can try and fight the top again. With this side pod concept, no side pod concept, they're not going to win anything at all. They're going to be looking to get even one race win with that. So we've got a lot of changes to do. And just looking at the technical delegates report, I didn't even realise Perez has got a brand new gearbox in the car.
Yeah, a whole new setup, isn't it, coming forward? So he hasn't got a penalty for it because it's still within the rules.
No.
But after what we learned, of course, about last time out, the fact that Red Bull had to turn their engines down and had to turn the gearbox down because they were worried about it cracking, for them to replace it this early, it's quite alarming.
Yeah. Well, also with Ferrari, I didn't realise. So both Ferraris, Carlos and Charles, have got a new internal combustion engine. Charles has also got the new MGU-H, along with the third control electronics. So they've had to replace, what, in Charles's car, 5 parts?
5 parts, yeah, and he got a penalty
in
for one
race.
Yeah. I know. I mean, how long until Ferrari just pack up, don't come into any more races because they just can't win the championship? And that might be why, as Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso blocked the track, and that is with. I'm trying to have a look. It's who's coming with them.
Got an issue.
Yeah, well, Sainz is going really slowly, and I'm trying to check who the driver is with Alonso. It's Alexander Albon. So Sainz was slow right in the middle of the track. Alonso nearly ran into the back of him, and we had Albon coming at full speed as well. And Sainz on a slowdown lap, but he is crawling in, not looking great. He's on the soft compound tyre, but. That was, and then goes the Red Bull of Verstappen. That was Perez going through as well. That was very dangerous from Sainz, right on the racing line, nearly having a massive accident.
I could see some words being given to him from Ferrari and the FIA after the session, and also commenting about the Perez with the new gearbox as he goes quickest. He's also got the new energy store and a new control electronics, so they've had to do a lot of changes to that car as well. So that's 3 parts changed from Perez as well, which is not ideal. But yes, he's not going to get penalties for it, but one racing, you don't be changing any parts.
A lot of people are saying after one race is a lot. True, but if you want to go deeper, it's after 30 laps.
Oh god, that is true actually.
Well,
that's right. It's after 30 laps as well, and especially for the energy store because that got replaced after qualifying.
Yeah, I just thought that. Well, it got replaced at the end of Q2, didn't it? So that's what 3 laps.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's really ridiculous. I mean, the Ferrari reliability was a big problem with them last year, especially in Abu Dhabi. But if you remember, Red Bull suffered in the opening race with a double DNF, came back to win the title.
And then the DNF in Australia with Max, with the something to do with the engine, wasn't it? But the thing is, as well, Ferrari definitely tried to cover up the fact that control electronics went on Leclerc's car, because after qualifying, they didn't
yellow.
Oh yeah, sorry, yellow flag's out. Don't know where on the circuit just yet. It's double yellow sector 10. So if this brings out the red flags, it won't.
That is
trying to work out who it is as well.
McLaren.
So is it Norris? Is it Piastri? It's one of the two. We'll take a look. But yellows are out. It is double yellow sector 10, and it's gone green now. Whatever it was. So no red flag needed. Trying to have a look, see who was off the track. There's Frederick Vasseur. It was an Alpha Tauri. I just saw on the onboard. It came back on the track next to Logan Sargent. Here we go. So this is on board with Fernando Alonso, and is he going to run into some traffic? Oh, this is him getting blocked by Sainz, wasn't it? And then Albon's directly behind him. So that was the replay of Sainz just not paying attention. There goes, that's Leclerc. No, that's Sainz, and there's Albon, there's the TV bang. And it was just a massive mess.
I can see Sainz being called to the stewards for that one, because that was really dangerous.
It was right on the line,
so
wasn't it? Yeah.
I can see possibly a penalty point or two will also go into him, but then again, we've seen, I think we've seen Leclerc do it at the start of the session, didn't we? Block someone off as well. I think it was Leclerc.
Yeah.
At the start of last session, I mean.
Yeah, in FP1 he cut across the circuit.
Ferrari are being a little bit clumsy.
Leclerc now passes.
Session.
Also, it's hard to tell which is which now because they've swapped Sainz's number to white, the same as Leclerc.
Oh.
So it's really hard to tell who's who now. That's
Stroll's nearly stopping.
blocking
Comes through turn
Verstappen.
27.
Blocking Verstappen coming out the last corner as well. Josh, you've got the race control data with all the information on terms of lap times per people. Are you able to deduce who was off the track? Because we haven't got anything via lap times. Because you've got that brand new data screen, haven't you? That we will have once I get another laptop.
That data screen. I'm so unorganised. I do not have it up.
No worries.
So let me just scroll up.
Also,
yeah, go on, Richard.
Go on, mate.
I haven't really been paying attention to this session as much because I just joined in. But what is up with Hamilton? Last session he was struggling. This session he's down in 11th. What is up with that car?
I'm just because we've got a big gaggle of cars right on the apex coming into turn 13 here. Pit. Luckily, everyone gets out of the way and it's safe there, but it's a very tight circuit here at Jeddah. Hamilton has had a software change as well, so they're just testing out a few new systems as Hulkenberg jumps to 4th, on the soft tyre C4, 130.181. But Hamilton's having an update with the car. He's on race runs at the moment. He's going to do a qualifying run later into the evening.
Magnussen up to 10. Very nice from the Haas.
Sure.
But another team that don't look too bad in terms of race pace, Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine, especially after pre-season testing when I put them last. Yeah, and Ocon.
Having unlimited penalties.
The only person who it could be whose last run was a 138.252 on new soft tyres. That was Oscar Piastri.
So Richie said it was McLaren.
Yeah.
So we'll go. It was Piastri.
That is that's the only person with a slow lap time on their last run.
Right, we will.
Albon improving, Ocon improving, De Vries improving, all coming through the final couple of parts of the lap. Albon having a yellow middle sector, but his first sector has really got a good improvement. He's just come up to the line now. Where does he go? Up to... stays 10th. There's an improvement in that final sector. De Vries also coming up towards the line now. Can he improve? Get himself into that top 10. Up to the line, goes 13th. Ocon also coming up towards the line. Where can he go? Up to 7th.
Good opening gambits then, but nobody can top Perez with a 129.902. He is the fastest. He is 5/100ths faster than Verstappen, who did his time on the medium compounds. Alonso 3rd, Hulkenberg 4th, Gasly 5th. We ride with Max Verstappen, the world champion. As he heads down, he's already 2 tenths up as he approaches turn 13. Flicks the car into the banking. They've put the Tech Pro barrier on the exit there, so it's actually a lot thinner than what it was. And then they've opened up the curbs here towards turns 16 and 17 as well. Still a blind corner. Piastri goes up to 15th, up to 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear maximum as you approach turns 21 and 22. The fast swings as that's a Red Bull, that's Perez on the outside. This part has been catching people out all day, and it just about catches Max as he rides the rumble curb, and now he gets the DRS once again all the way down towards turn 27. Norris tonight, this is a good lap time for Max Verstappen.
It is, just coming to the final couple of corners. That's, I believe, an AlphaTauri or something ahead. One of the black cars, considering they're all black.
Verstappen, it's Magnussen.
And Leclerc also on an improvement. It's improved in that first set, so he's just half tenth behind Perez and Max. Goes quickest, 3 tenths ahead of Perez, but not the best third sector. Leclerc 5.5 tenths down on Max in that middle sector. I'm not even sure if that's faster than Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg was 5.7 tenths off from all 3 sectors. Sainz also improving on his run as well. Leclerc into the final corner, hits the apex very nicely, gets some power nice and early. That's AlphaTauri, I believe, just ahead of him as he comes up towards the line. What time can Leclerc set? Can he improve? He does, but doesn't improve position. So down in 6th still. Sainz just coming through up in towards the end of sector 2 and towards turns 22 to 24. Can he improve? 6/10 off Verstappen. Ferrari, obviously it's only practice, but they really seem to struggle with that car. Then again, they have made changes to the front wing. They've also got the single pylon rear wing for the connection between the rear of the car and the rear wing. So they've made a few changes. Gasly improving in his middle sector, but down in the first. But Sainz, can he get ahead of Leclerc? 7/10 between Max and Leclerc. Sainz, can he increase that gap? He does increase it to nearly a second.
Oh, look at Gasly,
Gasly up to 4.
1:30, 1:47 for Gasly as well. So that Alpine is genuinely showing the pace, as Richie said earlier on, and Josh as well agreed. It's getting close up there. And here comes Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. That looks a bit camera pointed down to me, actually, a bit more than normal.
It
and
does.
he's having to control the pace as well. Josh, Aston with Stroll, he was 6th in Bahrain. His wrists have healed a lot more since then. Are we going to expect him at least 4th in the race? He's got to show some pace now.
I mean, he could, and as he comes up against the line, it's a good lap time, and as he comes across the line...
Very nice.
Josh, fourth in the race? No, 4th in practice too.
And Alonso's gone 2nd, so it's Red Bull, Aston Martin, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Alpine, Haas, before we even get to the Ferraris. Will Ocon spoil that for Ferrari? He does! He does! By coming 7th, which means that the first Ferrari-powered car is a Haas, with Hülkenberg in 6th. And these are their qualifying simulations.
Yeah, Russell's 2/10 down on Verstappen in that middle sector, so he's not having the worst lap so far. He's currently 1.1 seconds down in 12th. Piastri also in an improvement on his lap. He's just coming through to the end of that middle sector. What time does he set?
Russell was so close to the wall. The exit at the last corner. As he crosses the line, he does go 4th though. 1:30.070.
Very nice from Russell. Really nice lap. And I can see Russell really going to be ahead of Hamilton this season, in my opinion. I know we had one bad race, but I think on general pace, Russell will be ahead of Lewis. And I think that will also make Lewis's chances worse because he's not the best under pressure. And also, when it comes to defending positions, Lewis just doesn't defend. So Abu Dhabi going into turn 9, that was an odd one. Abu Dhabi going into turn 5, 2021. What else we got? We've got Brazil, but he got pushed off. Brazil 2022. See, Potter as well, didn't even defend. So I don't know why, but Lewis just has no... It seems like he's got no fight in him to defend positions anymore.
Tell you one thing, Oscar Piastri has had a lovely little battle out on the circuit as well with one of the Ferraris, if they're in there, because they're both coming to the pit lane. So we are a minute behind on the PLC that we're watching on the iPad, but Piastri had a lovely battle, slipping between the two of them in the 3rd sector. Hamilton is up to the line. He's 11th at the moment. Can he get anywhere near his teammate Russell, who's P4? Cross the line. Hamilton stays 11th, 1.1 seconds down on the soft compound tyre as well.
So Hamilton's personal best in sector 1 is 7/10 off Verstappen's and Alonso's. His personal best in sector 3 is only 2/10 off Alonso. So that first sector, 7/10. Verstappen 32.6 on with Alonso. Hamilton 33.2.
It's really, and this is Piastri, and I think this is what I was talking to you about on the PLC. Look, he's got one of the Ferraris ahead of him, and he's just going to slip. The track's blocked, so it's one of the AlphaTauris as well, and one of the Ferraris is blocking his path, and he was on a fast run, and he had to completely back out of it. This is George Russell, now in blue this weekend, not in green, because we couldn't tell the difference last time out, so they've swapped him back to blue. He's had oversteer through turn 1. He's been brought by McLaren.
Oh.
Well, that was a useful radio.
Very, very happy.
Useful radio as well when they just go beep. I mean, what's the point in even playing the radio?
Gasly.
Wow. In the Alpine
Stroll
again.
improving. Ocon improving. Let's see. We're on board with Stroll now as he comes out down toward... Well, they call it... There's 4 corners between the exit of 16 and 22. But it's just one big straight, if you ask me.
Yeah, none of them really count either. Really, it's just
Stroll.
Oh, Russell radio.
We need to make some big changes. Yeah, copy.
Oh.
That's not good. Also, Ocon 2/10 off Verstappen in the middle sector.
This is looking amazing.
It's got a bit of pace at the moment. Can we say Alpine the third quickest car?
I think it's pretty much there. Russell says 4th, and we still need to make bigger changes. Let's have a look at the team that are currently 2nd in the Constructors' Championship. Stroll stays 6th on a slow lap. So those soft tyres begin to have their time. Here's Ocon across the line, and he's 4th. 3rd best team, definitely.
With a yellow middle, with the yellow final sacked, really nice from Ocon. Gasly 6th. So, but Mercedes, it's just getting worse and worse, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Josh, what they
not
could
good.
do, but what setups do you think they could suspension, ride height, software? Do you think Mercedes are now going to go into a bit of a suffering phase similar to last year? Whoever
I
was
don't
set
know,
up.
to be honest. I can't remember how bumpy the Jeddah circuit is.
It's not that bumpy at all.
No, because it's quite new. We've had three races in 18 months, so it shouldn't be. If it wasn't naturally bumpy, then it shouldn't be bumpy at all.
Yeah, it should be quite a smooth circuit. Oh, and there goes the sky ad brake.
And Perez on an improvement in the first sector. Norris also an improvement, and Piastri. But like for Mercedes, I can't even think of what they can do, because their main issues, from what I can see, is braking. They can't get the heat into the brakes, and the second thing is just it seems like it's really like light on the rear.
They are struggling, aren't they? They're 100%.
They got lots of rear issues with the car.
I'm just trying to have a think as well about what they could possibly do. They can't change the engines up any higher for what we've had, because of the rule, meaning that once you go into qualifying, whatever engine mode you run at, then you have to run in the race. It's one of the only things you keep the same. So we've got to keep an eye on that going forward. As I'm desperately trying to connect my iPhone to my iPad so I can get the data screen back.
Also, while we've got our little break, let's talk a little bit about F2 qualifying. Victor Martins, 6.5 tenths gap to pole.
Spoilers.
And,
that doesn't
well,
air.
It's already been on.
Yeah, but it doesn't air on this channel until later.
Well, well, my bad. Well, it's a bit of a sneak peek.
I hadn't watched F2 practice or F2 qualifying yet.
Oh well.
But no, very
also,
good.
you've just seen for many surprises. I'm sure Josh can confirm.
Ooh,
it's a very
black
good surprise.
And white flag.
Oh yeah, for De Vries
crossing the line at pit entry.
Oh dear.
And also a sneak peek. The F2 practice session didn't run to full length.
Neither did the qualifying.
Didn't it?
No.
I
Didn't.
didn't.
It?
No, red flag.
Oh wait, with the red flag.
2 minutes to go. Yeah.
Yes.
Although I would like to point out that my stopwatch, which is what I use to calculate, the qualifying session was 10 minutes in terms of highlights, so you get all the juicy
Josh,
bits. Go on.
So you remember who went second, yeah?
Oh my word, you're asking
I
me a
am
question
so
now.
happy.
Yeah.
I am so happy.
Yes, yeah, I do remember who went into P2 now, yeah.
The one person I support, and I've supported him since he came into F3.
I'm just gonna
Has a good run as well. But that's not until the feature
so
race.
I can join in.
If actually, Richie, you will commentate on that race where he starts second because it's the feature.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that should be interesting.
Yes. I don't know why I'm not having you in the sprint, actually. I don't know why I didn't put you down. Come for the sprint as well. Come for both.
I can do.
Yeah.
I'll be here for basically the whole weekend.
Yeah, may as well.
Apart from the race.
Oh, that's why you're not in. That's why you're not in the sprint, because it's back to back with qualifying. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Although if you're fine with it, you may as well come and have a.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you like it as well, Josh?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have supported O'Sullivan in FIA F3 through GB3 as well. So yeah.
Very good,
you watched GB3 as well then?
Yes.
Then what's your favourite track?
I don't know, but I was at Brands Hatch one time, and I just saw, and every single race it was O'Sullivan, O'Sullivan. So it's like when you're watching these junior series and you're like, you need to remember that name for when he comes up into the FIA world. So that has stuck with me. But yes, a very, very good P2, especially for someone who also has an O in their name.
It's looking very good.
All I'm going to say.
Yeah, the highlights, by the way, airing at 8:30 tonight, because that's I think the quickest time I can get the edit done.
Also, speaking of, let's just speak about F2 in general.
Yeah.
Josh, what one driver do you think has a chance of making F1?
I'll answer
after F2 now.
After James Vowles on the pit wall.
Well done on surviving that. But what advice for the drivers have you got? What have they been feeding back to you as their new boss?
I mean, advice, probably very little on driving, you've seen me drive, but really, genuinely, it's, in the case, for example, of Logan here, it's build up to it. There are a few tracks on our calendar, this is one of them, Monaco's another one, where it punishes you if you just try and grab too much too soon. So the advice really to him here, and you can see him doing it, is build into it. You can see the gap is closing down relative to Alex, and he's doing a good job.
Because we were saying, he's not had the best junior record here, so it can be a bit off-putting once you get into a bit of a rut. 5 times, never scored a point. You know, he's better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the track has changed. I think it's for the better, but it's hard to put in context unless you see this in real life, just how quick this track is and how tough it is.
I think, James, it's Damon here. I think I can agree with you, having been around here myself, albeit in a very, very old Formula 1 car. I mean, it is very daunting. The corners are very, very quick, and we saw you putting a gurney on the rear flap. You had also some sort of issue with the DRS wing flapping. Was that we saw it on TV? So is that connected?
Exactly, I think you did hit the nail on the head. So there's a couple of things going on here. One, just making sure we've got the right downforce level for the track. And a gurney is just basically a tuning tool. So typically it's a couple of kilometers an hour, a little bit of downforce that you, a couple of kilometers an hour slower, and a bit more downforce you add to the gurney. But the issue that's probably more pressing and more concerning is why we're getting fluttering. It's both cars on the same rear wing. We're not seeing it on Logan's side. So we just need to understand where that's coming in from.
Karun, you got a question?
Yeah, James, just standing behind you. Your mechanics have kicked me out of your pit box because one of the cars is coming for a pit stop. I just want to look at the times and see, you know, once again, like we saw in Q1 in Bahrain, incredibly close at the moment, isn't it? But, you know, how much of that is people running different programs and how much is it of convergence across the pit lane of performance?
I'll just wait for the pit stop to complete. All right, there we go.
Into the path for one of the Astons as well.
It was a near unfortunate incident in the pit lane, but we're through that now.
Yeah.
To answer those questions, nothing to do with you, Karun, I think. But anyway, to answer those questions, it is definitely that the grid is tighter now. I think it's absolutely fair to say that we're in the hunt and a fight with around 2 or 3 teams. And of those, it's almost as though we're sharing the same millisecond, and whichever one does a perfect job on the day can walk away with a point. I think that's the case in Bahrain, that's the case here. I've already mentioned it, but we also have to have our feet on the ground firmly. There's going to be other tracks where we are not as competitive as here. This one I expected us to suit us a little bit more than Bahrain. But when you look at the gaps, is Lewis there? No. I mean, that's a different program. He'll move further up than there. Is Ferrari there? No, of course not. They'll move further up as well, and Hulkenberg will drop behind them. So it's a little bit of both.
James, thanks so much. Great to have you with us.
And this is Charles Leclerc leaving the pit lane, doing a practice start outside the fast lane. And let's listen in.
What happened?
I will come back to you.
Yeah, let me know if I can go on power or...
I will come back to you.
Oh.
For us, everything
no
is fine.
Power.
You can continue.
I would look away if your name was Matt.
Okay.
Little bit of problem with the power throttle, yeah. And that was off a practice start, and that was a bit wiggly as Kevin Magnussen at turn 13 has a wiggle and goes straight. Oh, is that turn 13? No, that's turn 11 and 12, so it's just before 13. Has a little bit of a wiggle coming through. Karun's in the pits.
See it.
Yeah, well, basically the Williams
Hamilton
was
again
I think
struggling.
It was Logan Sargent on that occasion got released, and there were a couple of cars coming down. And you can see actually the background on my on our camera here. There's an AlphaTauri, Crofty, parked on the left-hand side of the white line. That's where the drivers have been going to do their practice starts. And basically, you had two cars coming this way to get in that practice start box, and you had the Williams leaving its pit box right at the end. And this is one of those things where I think they were all quite lucky because they were heading for each other, and the drivers had enough spatial awareness not to hit each other.
Yeah, I said it was nearly a thing with the Williams and the Aston having a bit of close contact, and the Mercedes of Hamilton leaving the pit lane as well. Thanks very much, Karun, down there. But yeah, you noticed, Rich, as well, Hamilton's struggling out there a lot again with traction.
It's more the fact
Going to interrupt
he's breaking into...
Martin's on the track.
Speed to here, 210 kilometers per hour, and the sweet spot is to ride that curb on the far side there. It's got a nice slope up onto it, and if you can put the right hand wheel, you saw the Ferrari there going the other side of it, so they can push their luck through here because there's like a get out of jail free card, a little runoff area on the other side, as opposed to the wall that was there a couple of years ago, or as Lewis Hamilton used it for, to get out of the way of another car catching him quickly when he was on an outlap. But if you straddle that curb, you can see on the top of it where they've taken all the paint off, where the right-hand side wheels go over the other side of the curb. Car sits on top of the curb. You do worry about our little darling sensitive pieces when they're skating along that. But if you can just get your right-hand side front and rear tyre on there, but you still need total belief, because before they disappear out of our view, they're doing 150 miles an hour, and you've got belief that there won't be somebody having an accident in front of you, and that the marshals, flag marshals, are giving you all the warnings you need, if indeed they've got time to do that. And so this is a corner, 22, 23, and you can see there what happened when the McLaren straddled that curve. It's a corner where the driver really can make a difference. Bit of bravery, bit of commitment, some self-belief in the car that when you are heading for the wall on the outside there, you will still have command over the front axle. The car will still keep turning, and that there's nothing around there as you accelerate from 150 to 200 miles an hour. So I haven't seen anybody have a lot of instability through here, but several drivers running wide over that curb, and it's still a challenging part of the racetrack. Back to you.
Martin Brundle down at turn 22, and Richie, I'm going to get back to you now. If you can remember your point, and I'll answer your question about the F2 drivers.
I can't remember my original point, but I can remember the question I asked about the F2 drivers.
Théo Pourchaire will get to Formula 1, Oliver Bearman will get to Formula 1, and I think and Victor Martins will get to Formula 1. I think they're my three top picks at the moment to enter Formula 1 in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Mine.
Oh, go on.
Oh, no, you go first, Josh.
I agree, but one person I really, really think will get into Formula 1, and he definitely deserves a place, he was 18th in qualifying, and his name is Roy Nizani.
I don't. If Roy Nizani gets to Formula 1 at age 30, I will quit commentary.
What about if Paul Deal and Nizani go in Formula 1 at the same year in the same team?
I'll quit Formula 1. Neither that deserve it. They're both terrible.
The top three that I would say to Formula 1: Pourchaire, Bearman, and Yuasa.
Oh, yes. Iwasa's brilliant. I think he'll be in the Red Bull Junior program soon. Then again, Formula 2 is just the Red Bull Junior program this year.
Actually, no, scrap that.
Oh, yeah?
No, scrap that. So, Pourchaire, I'm going to say no, because maybe he never will, because of how long he's been waiting. I'm going to say Bearman.
Oh, sorry, Max has had a bit of a twitch there coming through T1.
My dances are really, really bad.
Oh, and again, more problems.
It's just super long, the whole dancing procedure.
Is there a specific corner, Max?
Last corner is really...
Max Verstappen again, and Red Bull having problems with the gearbox, downshifting really bad in the last corner. We saw Red Bull have problems. Let's listen. Oh, we just go off board. This is the last corner now. Oh, it's turn 13. They all look so similar. It looks okay to me.
But I was saying, Iwasa, Behrman, and Maloney.
How annoying would it,
Maloney.
yeah, I agree, yeah. How annoying is it, by the way, that the car is an aerodynamic... Oh, hang on, let's go down to the pit lane. Bernie Collins is with Karun.
The soft tyre, Crofty was saying, surprised to see a lot of people running the soft tyre on long runs. We didn't see them in the race last year. What do you think? I mean, this was your day job looking at these things.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be taking these tyres back. They'll do a lot of analysis of it. Like, it's interesting, you've only got just over 10 minutes to go in the session. So they'll be trying to see, what they're trying to find out in this session is, can they run this soft tyre in the first stint? Because it will be an advantage off the line if they can. So if they can make this last long enough, it's got to be worth it. And now's the time to find out if that's possible or not.
And already today, we've had FP1, we've had 2 sessions of Formula 2. So the graining that people were expecting on the front tyres doesn't seem to be apparent now.
It looks really clean. I'm not sure how many laps they've done, but all of the tyres look really clean for what they've done so far. So, you know, these might go back on it. Well, they've not wrapped them yet, but what they'll do now is they'll do the launch at the end of the session on the other tyres. They'll have launch data for both tyres as well, and that'll give them a lot of information that they need to go forward into the race.
So when you say launch data, you're talking about the practice starts, and so tell us about that, because, you know, we often hear the soft tyres an advantage. At the start, it's 5 meters, 8 meters, all these numbers that teams talk about. But when you're doing a practice start here, as we showed people earlier on the left-hand side of the pit lane, how similar is that to being on the track?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is, in these sessions now, we have a launch on the track at the end of both FP1 and FP2. So they can compare slightly different conditions, but they can filter that out in the data, and they'll see the tyres that they're on now, how that compares to the end of P1, and they'll have a lot of data to fill that in. And all they're trying to see is, those meters that you gain off the line are so important in that first stint, because it means you can control that first stint exactly how you want to. If you're the car ahead, you have so much advantage.
Okay, listen, it's the first time you've managed to get off one of those stools and actually wander around, so maybe we'll carry on wandering, Crofty, and we'll throw back to you for now.
Excellent.
Oh, I'm loving the fact that Bernie is in the pit lane for Sky F1 this year. She's at a select number of races this season as well. She'll be working on Sky F1. She'll be in the commentary box as well as a technical analyst, and she'll also be working on the SkySports.com website as well throughout the season. And I think that was so refreshing as well. Oh, big slide from one of the Williamses coming out of the last corner. I think it was Sargent nearly put it in the wall as well with a massive tank slapper. And he just about escapes that, but it was a big old snap of oversteer at turn 27. But yeah, it's great to hear from Bernie Collins down there, ex-Aston Martin chief strategist as well, and it's nice that she's wearing, and also wearing green for St. Patrick's Day, which is why I'm wearing a green shirt up here in the commentary box as Leclerc runs off at turn 14 as well. So, who wants to go with a comment? Who wants to go?
I mean, I can.
This is Leclerc, the last corner. Does he have a moment as well? Oh, he did.
That's big moment, big.
Turn 2.
See, snap coming through. That's where Russell stopped, doesn't it? So
yeah.
In the red flag in 2021. So looking at the track, I think that's down at turn 8 and 9. And this is De Vries coming out at turn 1 and 2 with Hamilton, and De Vries nearly running into the path of Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pit lane. And that's the one problem with where the pit lane filters out here.
Yeah.
It's so... Oh, and there's Verstappen's lockup. Oh, that's Perez's lockup.
Yeah, that was at turn 1 and turn 2. Back to live if you're watching along with us. Verstappen top 129.603. The fastest lap time we saw in this session last year, if I just get it up from mine and Josh's favourite website.
Oh, are you on the Lights Out blog again?
Yes, it was a 130.074. with from Charles Leclerc.
Gasly on a run now as well, down in towards turn 13. 5 minutes to go of the session as well. And SHG did point out so many off-track reports in this session. There really has been in the last 20 minutes or so. It's been non-stop. But it does give me, Josh and Richie, a little chance to catch our breath after the exciting runs. But we're near the end of practice 2. Is it still sunny out? Oh, it's still daytime out in the commentary boat. That's nice. It wasn't daytime in Bahrain 2 weeks ago, but we are getting close here in the UK to when we move the clocks forward, so we get a little bit longer days as well. Gasly's 4 seconds off the pace, but he's doing a race simulation at the moment. Verstappen 1:29.603 is top, Alonso second, Perez third, Ocon fourth, Russell fifth. So I don't know, it's been a good session so far, and I'm looking forward to throwing down to the pit lane one more time in the next few moments to hear from Karun and Bernie as they come through. Across the line for Gasly on his race run. That's a 1:35.116. That's a good race run.
One team I want to talk about, McLaren again.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Leclerc.
Is everything okay? We'll come back to you.
Oh, God. So now Leclerc says everything okay engine-wise. Right, Bernie, down the pits.
Hearing drivers complaining about traffic, but what can you do to put a driver in some space when everyone's out there?
Well, it's really difficult because the lap isn't that long and you've got 20 drivers that all want space. They're all complaining that they don't have enough. And you see little mistakes. You know, we've seen the Alonso mistake earlier. People get out of phase, as we call it. So you'll have someone on the fast and someone on the slow so quickly. So it's really, really hard to find that golden bit of track that they want. Q3, obviously, with only 10 drivers left, it's much easier. You've got a lot more to play with in that session.
Yeah, just like to point out that Bernie is Irish herself as well. That's why she's in green and myself in green. It is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody who celebrates it as well. I know Adam mentioned it earlier on. This is the closed radio.
On data, we can't see anything. Can you be a bit more specific what happened or where?
I think it was maybe a big surf.
He's got new power.
So he's got a brand new power unit, but the car just sounds like it's surging. It's like it's hitting the accelerator and bang, he's getting all the torque at once.
Not good. Not good at all. Considering he's on a brand new engine as well. The combustion engine, the MGU-H, and the engine store and the control electronics, all brand new. And he's having issues, what? 2 practice sessions in?
Indeed.
That is not good. So I want to know what material Ferrari are making their engines out, because at this point it might as well be feathers.
I've heard it is a material called Bonotto.
I was going to say they're making out of lilac or something like that, or like licorice, there's something really ultra thin. There's Alonso right behind Hülkenberg for its position. Is he going to go for a DRS attempt? I think he is. Alonso on the back of Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg looking in his left-hand mirror as they head down the start-finish straight. Alonso's got the DRS open. Is he going to go for an overtaking opportunity? He is on the inside towards turn 1. Hülkenberg's not going to give him any sort of trouble, and away goes Alonso. So that's a good little overtake there. Jess says, uh-oh, Ferrari in trouble. He says, when I hear Leclerc and engine, it's painful. And I hope it doesn't get worse than the McLaren Honda days in the hybrid era. That would be embarrassing as well if Ferrari doesn't end up as McLaren Honda from all those years ago.
Then I started to absolutely destroy the chat with all of my random messages.
Still
pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah, go on,
yes.
Go on, Richie.
We need to take into consideration first 20th, 1.4 seconds.
Ooh.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
But as I was saying before, we got interrupted by Bernie. McLaren, practice 1, 14th and 20th. Practice 2, 12th and 19th.
Do you want to be...
It is getting better.
Tell you what though, do you want a bit more positive notes? I'm looking at the race run data. In fact, I'll show you it on the screen with 30 seconds left. Now look at the white numbers, those of you watching along with us on YouTube, with the time data. That is your times they've just done. So that's the race simulation data. The lowest I can see is a 1:34.648. That's set by Perez. The highest I can see is a 1:37 by Magnussen, but he's on race run, so it's a 1:36.623 from Zhou. That's the more representative time. So the entire field, separated by around about 2 seconds in race run, is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Alonso has managed to do a personal best in the third sector, a tenth quicker than Verstappen nearly.
Checkered flags out. So
there we go.
yeah.
The top three. Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, and Ocon in fourth. That is really nice for Alpine.
This is looking like it's going to be a very interesting qualifying tomorrow, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we're going to see as well. Verstappen's race run, 4 seconds off the pace at the moment, his own best time. He's on soft tyres, remember, so we have yet to see what they're going to run on hard compound. In the race, we're expecting them to go starting on mediums, taking it until about lap 18, then swapping to the hard compound time, trying to get that to the end of the race. It is a one-stop race. But if safety cars breed safety cars at this track as well, so we need to know how long the soft tyre can go. So far, it's looking very good. 135.212 for Verstappen across the line. Alonso's last lap was 139, but the race runs, everyone is a lot closer than what they were in Bahrain, which is exactly what we wanted to see. In qualifying terms, Verstappen is 2/10 ahead of Alonso, but in the race run, which matters, everyone's a lot closer than Bahrain.
Oh, Perez chucking up the curb there completely as it comes through. 22, 23 and 24. Look at that. All off the rear plane. No, is it the plane it's called, isn't it?
Plank.
The plank, that's it. The piece of wood at the bottom of the car.
Double yellow sector 9.
I presume that's another test, similar to before.
Virtual safety car, so I think so, yeah.
Because they did that at the end of last session, didn't they? When we were sitting there thinking, hang on, who's gone off? But no one ever did.
Yeah, so it is, I think. They shouldn't do that in a session, to be fair. Test the virtual safety
I'm
car.
trying to look and there's no one stopped at all.
We going to tell the FIA that we are not in Bahrain. It is not the 23rd to the 25th of February.
Yeah.
It is in fact round 2 at Saudi Arabia in Jeddah.
Yeah, they shouldn't be
See,
throwing
the thing is, it's like fair point if it was for the practice starts, but if it was for practice starts, why are they yellow flag in sector 2?
Yeah, we should. If the yellow flag in the last corner would make sense to warn everybody, but a full virtual safety car is a silly procedure.
Alonso, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Norris, Ocon, Zhou, so they're all getting ready to do some practice runs, practice starts.
I think that's probably because the finish line and the start line is in different places, and the start line's in sector 2.
Also,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Birch, you know, I don't know if the other Josh knows. Ginger Andy, the one who used to do PSGL F1. Do you know who he is?
Say again?
Ginger Andy.
Yeah, Ginger Andy, Andy.
Just looking through on Twitter, he put a £5 stake onto the horse bets. £6,000 he bought back.
Cheeky
After putting £5 in.
That's just his type of look, isn't he, Andy, as well?
Exactly. There we go.
Unbelievable. I think he left actually just in the same season you were there, actually, Richie. We had a big in season 30 we had like a launch evening and everyone was there playing darts and all that.
What's that?
Yeah, George Morgan and Andy were having a darts tournament as well. George
that's on YouTube. Yeah.
George got a double top at one point in the practice runs as well. It was all very good. Go on, Josh.
Talking about George Morgan, George has been live on Twitch for 6 hours.
He has been doing his
still going.
Luca Domino.
I think they think it is testing. Day 1 results just came up. They think it is testing. Graphics are wrong for practice 2. Right, here's the classification then for practice 2 of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. It is Max Verstappen fastest with Fernando Alonso second, Sergio Perez is third, Esteban Ocon fourth, George Russell fifth, Pierre Gasly 6th, Lance Stroll 7th, Nico Hulkenberg 8th, Charles Leclerc 9th, and Carlos Sainz in 10th position as well. Better day for Ferrari, moving up a whole 2 places there. Lewis Hamilton is 11th as well, with Lando Norris in 12th. Yuki Tsunoda 13th, 14th for Alexander Albon, 15th for Kevin Magnussen, 16th Zhou Guanyu, Nick de Vries 17th, Logan Sargent 18th, Oscar Piastri 19th, and Valtteri Bottas in 20th. Both sessions bottom for Bottas. A lot of work to do for the Alphas tomorrow.
Josh?
Yes?
I'm just looking through for F2 apparently. The person who qualified second has had his has had his time deleted. It doesn't say which time.
So that could be a
The 3 drivers were Brad Benavides, Ole Berman, and Roy Nassani all received deletion of lap times.
Could drop
It doesn't say which time though.
That could also, hang on, if that means that the fastest lap time gets deleted, that could put Juan Manuel Correa on provisional pole for the sprint race tomorrow. He qualified 11th, and it was Crawford who was on pole for tomorrow, so that could change.
Yeah, I've just had a look at it. I'm just...
very interesting if it does change around.
It was a 1:42.004.
Sounds like the fastest lap time of the session as well.
It was at 18:31. So.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that there? Lance Stroll, a video.
But
his wrist.
On the provisional lap time, he's still second with a 1:42.070.
So it doesn't change positions for Bourbon. That's good. Right, Perez is coming in. He's one of the last cars on the track as well. Let's have some closing thoughts. Richie, what's been your thoughts ahead of, all of Friday? As Charles draws Carlos like one of his French girls. Go on.
Mercedes, they are having a shambles of a start, same as McLaren. Red Bull and Aston Martin, I can't really say who's quickest. Oh, pardon me. And then one last thing to close off on. Turn 22 is going to cause issues in qualifying.
I think you're right there. Josh, what about you?
Turn 22 has, and it always will, cause absolute chaos in the race and qualifying. It's been a good session. Again, for Verstappen top and Alonso in second. Perez in third. So around the don't want to say it because it's only round 2. But is this going to be the normal 2023?
Well, SHT's put a great point out here. Do you guys realise that the top 3 in all 5 free practice sessions of the season so far are the same 3 drivers? Verstappen, Alonso, Perez.
Well, Megan will be happy.
Megan is very happy right now, but I can tell you one thing as well. Why is it's always you 3? It's the same thing. Aston's pace is genuine. That's brilliant. Right, my thanks to you, Josh. My thanks to you, Richie. And tomorrow we'll have Jess joining the comment box as well. My thanks to everyone for watching. You can join us later on tonight, actually, for the for the Formula 2 practice and qualifying highlights. That is at 8:30, if I get the edit on now. And you can join us live tomorrow with practice 3 from 1:15. Straight after that, 2:55 will be, 2:50 will be on here for the sprint race, and then we'll have qualifying as well from 4:45, all GMT. Sunday morning, you can join us again 1:15 for the race of the feature for Formula 2 from 4 o'clock GMT live on YouTube and on USON as well for the coverage of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. And then straight after at 7 o'clock we'll be on for the Grand Prix weekend review as well, looking back at all the F1 action as well in the Ted's Notebook style and hearing from some of the drivers out there as well. My thanks to Josh, my thanks to Richie, my thanks to all of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, status quo, despite missing media day and coming here with an upset stomach, Max Verstappen proves he's made of tougher stuff. Nothing can beat him. He's fastest in both sessions so far in Jeddah. Pretty much same old, same old. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.